Hey Faithful, welcome back to the Saloon presented by Cisco. I'm your 49ers team reporter, Briana, Jeannel, and joining us from the Indianapolis Colts, it's JJ Stankevitz. JJ, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Great. Glad to be on. Glad to talk some ball here ahead of a big Monday night game for both of these teams, right?
That's right. It should be fun. I do have to say, I think a lot of us here in San Francisco were huge Colts fans on Sunday because your team was up against one of our biggest division rivals, the Seattle Seahawks. It was a close game, but tell me some of your biggest takeaways from Sunday's contest.
Yeah, I mean, the first one has got to be about Phillip Rivers, right? The way that he manipulated the Colts offense to try to just, okay, we're going to run the ball a lot and we're going to throw it short, and, maybe he'll make a throw or two in here that's, impressive. The Colts executed their game plan to the extent that they wanted to, which is try to take the air out of the ball and, keep the Seahawks offense off the field. And for the most part, it worked. I think the big factor, Briana, for the Colts on Sunday was that they were able to run the ball better in the first half when Bernhard Raimann, the Colts starting left tackle, was in the game. He left with an elbow injury late in the first half, did not return to the game. The Colts were down to their two backup tackles because right tackle Braden Smith was put on injured reserve prior to Sunday's game. So you're dealing with two backup tackles. The Colts were not able to run the ball as well as they were in the first half. That definitely took away from some of their offensive efficiency. And I thought Phillip Rivers looked about as good as I expected, which is that he had a couple of vintage Phil throws. Like he had a really good one on a comeback to Alec Pierce down the far sideline. He ripped one to Tyler Warren over the middle. You could tell he knew what he was looking at because he and Shane Steichen have such a good relationship. He knows the offense, he knows defense. And then defensively, I was blown away with how good the Colts are playing because similar to on offense, Colts being down both their tackles, the Colts were down both their starting outside cornerbacks. You guys obviously know Trevarius Ward Sr. He is on injured reserve. Unfortunately, he's had 3 concussions this year. He had one against Jacksonville in Week 14. So he is out for the remainder of the regular season. And then Sauce Gardner, who the Colts traded for in November, he's out with a calf injury. He may be back for this week against the 49ers. We'll see. But even despite that, going against Jackson Smith and Jigba and Rashid Shaheed and Cooper Kupp and that the Seahawks offense, I thought the Colts corners battled, their backups battled, and this is about as fast as the Colts defense has played in a while. So they came real close, obviously. Sorry we didn't help you guys out up there, but it was an encouraging game that the Colts committed to a certain game plan. They were able to execute it, and it turned out, well, the Seahawks are also a really good team, and they had the ball last, basically.
Yeah, I hear you. And you're absolutely right. We can't not talk about Phillip Rivers back under center. Also, head coach Kyle Shanahan mentioned that he actually spoke with Rivers leading up to his first start and joked with him saying, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, knowing that he'd have to face him in Monday Night Football. So just some laughs over here in the Bay Area as we get closer to this matchup. But what should 49ers expect from Phillip Rivers under center, especially against this Niners defense?
I think the big thing is he's going to make a bunch of checks at the line to get the Colts into the right play. Whether that's, hey, we have a run called, but he's going to say, I see a certain way that they're playing it. Let's flip it to the other side. Whether it's, something Alec Pierce told me after the game is that he was like, Phil was making these checks and he's like, we have certain things that trigger, a check. And he's like, I look over at one point and Phil's checking out of something because, it was supposed to be, we would check out of it if it's cover 3. And Alex, I don't think that's cover 3. And Phil goes, yeah, it is. This guy's bluffing based on where he is. And it turned out, well, Phil was right. So that stuff, Phil can manipulate a defense. The other thing I think to know about Phil is that he only got sacked once. And it's a belief I have that sacks are a quarterback stat, where if you're a quarterback who takes a bunch of sacks, it's actually more on you than it's on the offensive line. So Phil's not going to take a bunch of sacks in this game. He's going to get the ball out quick. Now, that means the 49ers can maybe try to compress things because Phil is potentially not going to chuck it downfield. But when it comes to manipulating things, throwing on time, getting the Colts in and out of the right plays, that is what Phillip Rivers can do. And that's why the Colts wanted him in this situation. I mean, the Colts are down to their third quarterback option because when Daniel Jones tore his Achilles and is out for the year, Anthony Richardson Sr. has been out since week 7 when he had this freak accident before we played the Cardinals. And it was, okay, do we go with Riley Leonard, who's a 6th-round rookie, when we desperately need to win these games to make the playoffs, or let's see if Phil can do it. And the Colts went down the path of Philip Rivers. We'll see. Shane Steichen did say the game plans are going to be different going forward. Phil's not playing against the Seahawks at Lumen Field. We're going to be at home at Lucas Oil Stadium, so indoors, at home in a comfortable environment. I think you might see some differences in this offense, but for the most part, it's probably going to be a heavy Jonathan Taylor day, a heavy, short passes, run a lot of mesh, get Josh Downs on the move. A lot of those things you're going to see more of than, obviously Philip Rivers trying to chuck it downfield at 44.
Yeah, you just mentioned him. Jonathan Taylor is looking as strong as ever, especially with that 87-yard rushing game against the Seahawks. What makes him stand out as a playmaker, the way he makes plays against the defense?
It's his patience and his vision. When he had that great year in 2021, when we played you guys last, JT, he was outstanding that year. His acceleration, his ability to hit those home runs really showed up. The thing with Taylor this year is even if things are compressed and defenses are playing the run against him, he can find a way to turn a run that might any other running back might get a loss or 0 or 1 yard. He might get 3 or 4 on it. And right now, the way the Colts offense has gone recently, they have kind of struggled to run the ball over the last couple of weeks. They played good rushing defense, as you mentioned, Seattle. I think 87 was the most rushing yards anyone's had on Seattle this year. Prior to that, Jacksonville hadn't allowed a rusher to go over, I think, 70 yards, and JT did go over that. But it wasn't to the level of efficiency and explosiveness that we've become used to with Taylor this season. I think that the thing that the Colts are still searching for is a way to find those explosives in the run game that they were able to get to prior to the bye week, where you would see, that game against Atlanta in Berlin where Taylor ripped off that 84-yard touchdown and, he's able to score from anywhere on the field. That has kind of dissipated a little bit over the last couple of weeks. The Colts are still trying to find solutions there, but again, with an offensive line that's now dealing with some injuries, that might be a little bit tougher going forward. So definitely look for Taylor to get the ball quite a bit. He's going to be patient behind the line. If linebackers are playing downhill on him, he might try to bounce something, but for the most part, he's going to take what's there and he's going to try to grind out as many yards as possible, even if not a whole lot is there.
All right, we're taking notes. Now let's look at the other side of the ball. I have to say, tell me more about this Colts defense. Latu was just all over the field. He made a huge impact against Seattle. I see a sack, multiple QB hits, big tackles for loss. Tell me how you see the defense attacking their matchups against this Niners team.
I think the big question that I have is if DeForest Buckner is going to be back this week. Buck has he had a neck injury. It was like a stinger, he thought, against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 9. Turned out it was a herniated disc that was pressing on a nerve. So he was placed on injured reserve. He went immediately, developed a treatment plan. I'm sure you guys all know there in San Francisco, just like we know here, DeForest Buckner has got to be the toughest player in the NFL. The fact that he's even back at practice like he was last week after that injury really says a ton about him, his professionalism, his toughness, all that. So if Buckner is back, if he's activated from injured reserve, that's going to be a huge boost for this Colts defense that has struggled a little bit, especially against the run. They did a great job against Seattle, shutting down. I think they allowed 3 rushing yards in the first half. That's Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, but getting Buck back in there, he is in a lot of ways kind of the heart and soul of this defense. A guy who you don't want to run the ball when he and Grover Stewart are in there in the interior. He's got a ton of pass rushing juice. He does provide more opportunities one-on-one for a guy like Latu, who has, the sack he had. I would recommend, if you're the 49ers, to not leave him unblocked with a running back trying to block him, because that will result in your quarterback going to the ground, which is what happened in Seattle. But it is kind of this holistic effect on the entire defense. Buck helps the rest of the D line. He helps the linebackers. He helps the corners, in that you got to get the ball out a little bit quicker, helps the safeties in that you got to get the ball out quicker. So that, to me, is the big question. The big key for this game for the Colts is if DeForest Buckner is back, I think this defense has a real shot to make some noise on Monday night. If not, they're going to have to overcome yet another thing, which they did against Seattle. You guys know that's the second best scoring offense in the NFL. They did a lot of good things, but sustaining that week to week without Buckner is going to be difficult.
If there's anyone who knows how much of an impact DeForest Buckner has, it's definitely 49ers fans. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. But like you said, we're in prime time for this matchup. Tell me, what are some of the biggest 49ers players that people in the Colts building are keeping a close eye on?
I mean, obviously, you got to start with George Kittle. The way that he can work into space, he can impact the run game. I guess, obviously, wow, I didn't even talk about Christian McCaffrey, but I'm going to say George Kittle because that, to me, like, I love watching 85 play. The way that he plays, like, I think the Colts have maybe a younger version of him in Tyler Warren. The way that he can impact things in the run game, he finds space. He's explosive with the ball in his hands. He is an awesome football player to watch. The Colts have had some issues guarding tight ends this year where they, tight ends have been able to find some soft spots in, whether it's been zone. So that's going to be something I'm going to keep an eye on. Obviously, his impact on the run game. And then, okay, let's talk about Christian McCaffrey. You cannot let 22 beat you in this game. That's easier said than done. I think that's why getting Buckner back for this game would be really important. But then you're going to have, someone covering him. And that might not necessarily, if you get a linebacker on McCaffrey, that's a huge advantage for the 49ers. So are you going to see maybe Nick Cross dropping down a little bit more? Is Kenny Moore II going to have to defend McCaffrey a little bit more? How the Colts are going to go about defending him and trying to take him away while also not losing, a Kittle. And then alternative, in addition to all that, Ricky Pearsall's back. So is Sauce Gardner going to be back for this game? Could that have an impact there? You got to be aware of, Pearsall, Jennings, these receivers who are really good at finding space for Brock Purdy to find them. Those are definitely some matchups on offense. And then, defensively, I know the Niners have been beset by injuries on that side of the ball this year, but for years, it's always felt like the 49ers have always had a good defense. They've always scraped something together. Robert Saleh is held in very high regard in this building. And I think everyone in this building, regardless of the personnel out there, know that this is going to be a good game plan that Robert Saleh is going to put together for the Colts offense. So you got to be aware of that too.
Absolutely. This is going to be a big one for Monday Night Football. JJ, thank you so much for joining me on the Saloon, and I'll see you in Indianapolis.
All right, we'll see you there.
All right, that was my conversation with JJ, but now we are going to rewind the tape to before Week 15. I sat down with defensive lineman Clelin Ferrell. He talked about rejoining the 49ers and how he prepared for the Titans matchup. Here's my conversation with Clelin right here. Hey, Faithful. I'm sitting down with defensive lineman Clelin Ferrell right before the 49ers Week 15 game against the Tennessee Titans. Clelin, how are you feeling?
What's up, guys? I'm doing really, really good, feeling good, excited for this weekend.
I know. Are you feeling rested and rejuvenated after that bye?
Definitely. A couple of days off always helps the mind and the body, so I'm just excited to get back to playing.
I love to hear it. Now, we got to start off right off the bat with your huge game in Cleveland. You were mic'd up, 2 sacks, led the team in tackles, one of the most productive games, honestly, of your career. Mm-hmm. When you look back at that tape, what was working for you that you want to carry now into this Titans matchup?
I think it's for me, honestly, I just take every game one play at a time. And each week you try to carry something into each game just to kind of be a driving factor. And for me, it was something Brock said earlier in the week, and he was just saying, they remember November, and we're really trying to play our best ball after Thanksgiving. So I was just got in that mode back in 23, like, guys, this is the time of year where it really, really matters. So it's really just that want to. That's it. I was just wanting to win more than anything.
I hear you. And we saw your emotion right after those big plays. What goes through your mind in those moments? Is it excitement, relief, gratitude, something else?
Coach Chris, he doesn't say it, but he kind of says it without saying it. It's somewhat of showmanship. You know what I mean? Like the fans, it's a part of the game to get everybody involved. So anytime you just bring charisma and get the fans involved, like that's one thing I love doing. Because then we all start, doing the fish celebration, everything. So.
We're so glad to have you back in the locker room. I know the faithful absolutely love having you back. You called this place home when you rejoined the team in October. What's one small thing about being back in the building that reminded you, yeah, this is really family?
The people. I think regardless of the location or what's in the building, I think it's the people that make, that word home, family, everything, so it was the biggest thing. Still seeing George, they put my locker right beside Christian. So it felt just like, we still all the same guys that I first came here with, and the goal is still the same. So I'm just glad to be back a part of it.
Amazing. You've definitely made the most of your opportunities after being signed to the practice squad. Now that you're back in this system, what part of your game do you feel like has grown the most since your last stint with the 49ers?
I think not even just since being back. I just think throughout the course of my career, man, believing in yourself. It's not about how you start. It's always how you finish. I got a long ways to go, hopefully. So for me, it's just sticking to the plan and just enjoying the journey. That's it. Really just enjoying the journey because you never know how things going to turn out. So it's just believing in yourself is my biggest thing.
Even just hearing you talk in this interview, you've become a veteran presence for a very young defensive line that's in the locker room right now. You know what it takes to play past December. You did it with San Francisco back during the Super Bowl run in 2023. What's a lesson that you'd want to pass down to some of the young guys during this stretch?
I think from my perspective, and there's so many things you could tell a young player, I just say being in this room, having a chance to play on this team, like you don't have to be afraid to be great. You know, for a lot of young guys, you can get in a team that's already established, but going that extra mile, just not being afraid if people are gonna look at you a certain way because you want to be your best, doing extra work. Maybe you stretching in meetings, but it's those little things that'll take you a very, very long way. And for young guys, it's really just telling them, like, hey, bro, it's okay to put your extra work in. Like, you ain't gotta wait for coach to, put you in on third down for you to want to be the best player. Like, just do it now, and those things a compound interest, and you'll look up one day and you'll be appreciative you did. So that's the biggest thing.
Lovely. Now let's talk Week 15. Tennessee has a very physical downhill identity. Tony Pollard went off for a season-high game in Cleveland. The world has been able to see what Cam Ward can do. Tell us some of the keys to attacking the kind of offense that Tennessee has. I
think across the league, regardless of the fact, it's going to start with stopping the run. Tennessee is known for being obviously a physical team. And I think that's the first question that we're going to have to answer, who's going to be more physical. And then after that, it's going to be players on players who can make plays. And like you said, they got a very talented quarterback. I think we got a talented group ourselves, so, we'll let the chips fall where they may on Sunday.
Okay, we'll see. Now, we talked in the locker room back in 2023 when you were last here. You told me about your pregame ritual of going to the movie theaters, getting your icy, getting your popcorn, and how it resets you to be able to be mentally locked in for game day. Does that ritual still exist?
Of course, still. I usually try to get in. Especially, it's tough on the away games because we fly to the East Coast, but either that Friday or Saturday, I'm a big pull up to the cinema. Yeah, popcorn, nachos, hot dog, candy.
All right, well then what's the plan? What's the plan? What's on the watch list before you face the Titans?
You know what? I usually keep it pretty random and not pick to the day of. Last time I went and saw the new Predator movie, so we'll see what's in theaters this week. I can't remember. It was something new. I think it's that one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor. I want to go see if that's still in theaters this weekend, so that'll probably be on my list.
What kind of genre is it?
That's a thriller.
Okay.
That's a thriller. Yeah.
Getting you real excited for this game day.
Yeah. I want to be on edge.
Fun. This game kicks off December football, so we'll close it out with this one. What's your message to the faithful, the 49ers fans, about what they can expect from you and this defensive line down the stretch?
We'll meet you at the ball. That's the biggest thing, and it's going to be how we finish. We're going to meet you at the ball. This D-line, we're going to meet you at the ball.
Great, Clelin. Can't wait to see you play this Sunday. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you.
Now it's time to get a closer look at game day here at Levi Stadium, and we've got a fun one for you. Head coach Kyle Shanahan was mic'd up, so here is an exclusive look at game day from Coach's eyes. Right after that, I find Jauan Jennings on the field to recap the 49ers' Week 15 win over the Titans.
What's up, guys? Let's go, man. Let's go, baby. Go do it. A little colder than I thought it was going to be.
A little chilly. No sun today.
What's up, dude?
Birthday.
Thank you, man.
My sister told me that.
Really?
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I would have forgot it if I didn't have so many people remind me. Dude, a month ago, someone asked me how old I was turning. I told him 47. And Salah goes, when did you get older than me? I go, I don't know. He goes, no, you're 46. And I was like, oh, I feel like I gained a year.
There you go.
Let's go, Ricky. Let's have some fun today, dude. Get after it, man. Let's go, Trent. Let's have a good one, man. Big time day, dude. Let's go, Juice. Kick their big time, dude. What's up, man? Looking good, dude. Man. No, congrats to you, dude. Good. Happy for you, man. Hey, dude. This is way past due, man. Congrats, dude.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Let's go, Hank. Let's go, dude. Let's go, George. Let's go, man.
Early third down here for this 49ers defense. Ward, good pocket, steps right, looking downfield, holds the ball in his right hand, under pressure, and he just has to throw it away.
Good D. Nothing there, man.
And the 49ers force a 3-and-out to start the game. All over it was Keon White.
Good D, man. Way to stay off him.
49ers offense moving quickly as Purdy goes under center from the logo, takes the snap, play action, rolls out, throws into the flat. George Kittle's got it again. Kittle's got a block. Kittle first down, 40, 35, 30. As Purdy play action again, rolls out, nobody in front. So Brock is going to tuck it and run, and he's going to get about 4 and slide down.
All right, give me 11. All right, give me 11. Hey, give me 21.
Takes the snap, looks to throw, steps up,
Jauan.
pumps, throws to the front of the end zone, and it's caught again. Jauan Jennings with a 49ers touchdown.
2 good runs there.
Brock is running. He's looking for the pylon. No, he throws it, and DeMarcus Robinson makes the catch. Takes it from Brendel, turns, play action, deep set. He's got time, hits his back foot, throws, flag comes in.
Thank you. He was grabbing him. He just couldn't explode out of it. All right, on the goal line. All right, let's go left hash, Brock.
Purdy takes the shotgun snap. Purdy, pressure at his feet. So he checks it down. There's George Kittle. Kittle along the left numbers, able to pick up an easy 7 yards for him. Purdy is looking left, looking, throws. Long throw. Pearsall's got it.
Good job staying in. All right, huddle up. Let's go 22. Let's go 22.
Second half starts with Purdy in the shotgun.
Do it, Christian. Come on.
Christian McCaffrey, he makes the catch, his first of the game. Breaks away from a tackle up the sideline. And Purdy's going to roll back, play action pass. Steps up, pumps, throws down the seam. Ricky Pearsall's got it. 25-20, Pearsall racing to the near side to the 15-yard line. Out of the shotgun, here's Purdy, takes the snap, flushed out right, throws. Jennings, front of the end zone. Touchdown.
Baller, Brock. Awesome. Good job.
Quarter ball.
Awesome. Got to get him, Ricky.
They don't like my spot, so they challenged it.
I thought your spot was awesome.
Third and goal. Purdy under pressure, jump throw. Kittle's got it.
Jump pass again. Michael Jordan jump pass. Let's go, man. Finish him. Let's go, Curtis. Finish him, dude.
Touchdown.
Comes pressure. Purdy steps up, middle ball, and it's way up there. Caught climbing the ladder. Jauan Jennings.
All right, give me 22. 22.
6 yards.
Hey, huddle up. 22. Timeout.
The kick is up, and it is another line drive right down the gut for Eddie Pinheiro.
There you go, Eddie. All right, Mike. Great job. Thanks, man. You too, man. Best of luck. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
We got a hell of a leader here in our head coach. Happens to be his 46th birthday today.
Jauan Jennings right after the 49ers win over the Titans. Jauan, your first 2 receptions were touchdowns. How does it feel to make an impact like that?
Amazing. All God to glory, all glory to God. Just amazing day out here with the brothers, and we came out here and finished. Kittle doing this thing, getting us into the red zone, and Brock finding me the finishes. So it's a complete team win.
Let's talk about your quarterback, Brock Purdy. How dialed in was he today, and how much fun is it playing with him every Sunday?
Man, it's amazing to be out here with Brock. You know, just great players like, you know, Fred, Kittle, 2-3. I just told, 2-3, man. It's a dream to be able to play with guys like that, man. So Brock came out here early on, and I could tell in warm-ups he was gonna be on one, and came out to the game and throwing nothing but money balls, man.
This is your first win of the month. What's your message to the faithful as we get deeper into December football?
Hey, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Keep it going. I got a long season. The season ain't over, man. Let's keep going.
Congrats on the win, Jauan.
Thank you.
All right, faithful, don't forget to subscribe to The Saloon presented by Cisco on YouTube, SiriusXM, and your favorite podcast platform. That'll do it for today, and go Niners.